Death is an inevitable and natural reality that marks the end of the physical life of any living being. This biological process involves the permanent cessation of vital functions, such as breathing, brain activity, and blood circulation. However, death goes beyond its purely biological aspect, as it awakens deep reflections and emotions within us. From a philosophical and spiritual standpoint, death is contemplated in various ways. Some religious and cultural traditions see it as a transition to another plane of existence, such as a celestial beyond, reincarnation, or union with the divine. On the other hand, for some people, death represents the absolute end of consciousness and individuality. Regardless of personal beliefs, death confronts us with questions about the meaning of life, the purpose of our existence, and what awaits us after this passage. It reminds us of the fragility and finiteness of our human life, which can influence how we value our experiences and how we live day by day. The quantum hypnosis technique developed by Dolores not only allows us to explore past lives, but also provides a window into the deepest corners of our psyche and the soul's journey through time. This therapy not only offers information about our past lives, but can also lead us to heal deeply rooted fears, phobias, and even physical ailments. According to Canon, after death, the soul enters the astral plane, a non-physical realm of various vibrations and levels of consciousness. Here, it experiences a sense of release and freedom, shedding the limitations of the physical body and beginning to understand the true nature of its existence. This transition process is seen as a gateway to a new way of being, beyond our earthly limitations. Death is understood as a natural step in the soul's journey towards spiritual evolution. It invites us to reflect on our own existence and reminds us of the importance of living each moment fully, knowing that our life is precious and finite. In each breath, in each heartbeat, life and death coexist, reminding us of the impermanence of all things and the need to value each moment we have. Human beings spend the entirety of life in search of meaning for their existence, an acceptable explanation for their significance in the world, and for all the events that add to their being. That is, the purpose of finding something or someone that can justify that they are. From birth to death, the human being traverses a unique path, and the human dimension presupposes and compels us to give meaning to our lives through our achievements, encouraging us to create and build legacies. It is these inheritances, the experiences and the lessons acquired along this journey, that reflect and mirror how we will navigate the rest of the life journey, heading towards the ultimate destination. Currently, the full acceptance that we are just passing through, that we have in time an interval called life, is not embraced. We banish from our daily lives the natural event called death, valuing youth, health, immortality, and often favouring the concealment and sometimes denial of death. Accepting the end of our existence becomes a complex process because we live in an era of scientific and technological wonders, the conquest of the cosmos and human longevity, of shrinking spaces and the suppression of time, of virtual joy and fantastic wars, of the surrender of culture to the empire of the profit market, of the overwhelming quantity of information and the annulment of the qualities of value criteria, of the law of consumption and disposability, consuming and discarding living bodies, of the primacy of violence and individualism, insisting on the denial of finitude. Amidst the whirlwind of suffering, the search for the meaning of life becomes more pressing, more urgent. How can a suffering human being transform to the point of transcending and finding internal balance? It is a crucial question, especially because, as it is said, human beings are capable of doing terrible things as soon as they have a feeling. But the difficult part is to create that feeling. Suffering, with its fear of death and pain, can be a powerful catalyst to unveil the meaning of our existence. It propels us towards life, confronts us with anguish in the face of our own finitude, and challenges us to find answers to fundamental questions about who we are and why we are here. Near-death experiences, as described by some individuals who have been clinically dead, pose fascinating questions. How does science explain these phenomena? And more importantly, why do we hold on to these experiences so strongly? Although death is a natural part of life, it confronts us with a profound existential crisis, forcing us to reflect on the ultimate meaning of our existence. In various spiritual traditions, it is taught that the ultimate purpose of the soul is to achieve union with the divine. This union is seen as the culmination of the spiritual journey, where the individual transcends the duality of existence and experiences the ultimate unity of all creation. In the Advaita Vedanta philosophy of Hinduism, for example, it is taught that the individual and the ultimate reality are one and the same. Realizing this fundamental truth, the soul is liberated from the cycle of birth and death and attains liberation from suffering. Similarly, in the Sufi mysticism of Islam, spiritual seekers aspire to attain the state of fana, where the ego dissolves and the soul merges completely with the reality of God. This is often described in terms of divine love and a longing for union with the Absolute. In the Stoic philosophy of ancient Greece and Rome, death was taught not to be feared, as it is part of the natural order of the universe. According to the Stoics, death offers the opportunity to achieve final tranquility by liberating oneself from the concerns and afflictions of mundane life. These interpretations provide comfort and hope to those facing the inevitability of death, inviting them to contemplate the idea of a final destiny that transcends earthly concerns and promises peace and spiritual fulfillment. Spirituality in the final stage of life is significant as it can help humans rise above spiritual suffering and find deeper meaning in their existence. Technological and scientific resources deceive us. Growing faith in science makes us believe we are immortal, creating complex problems through illness, death, and the increasing physical and spiritual suffering resulting from the dehumanization of death in hospitals, therapeutic persistence, or even euthanasia. Faced with this scenario, questions arise in the approach to death related to the meaning of life, death, illness, suffering, and the remaining life yet to be lived, to values as a suffering person and as a unique being. These fundamental questions, expressed or not, are inscribed in the framework of the evolution of the disease, a process whose journey culminates in breaking with life. A journey rich in expectations, where the lack of preparation by the family and health professionals fails to provide authentic care to the dying. Soul, anima, or spirit are often used interchangeably to name the non-material and invisible entity that living beings possess. The etymology of the soul points to the principle by which humans and animals can move by themselves. However, over time, the soul became associated with religiosity and mysticism. The soul, according to Dolores canon, is the eternal and spiritual part of each individual. It is considered the true essence of a person beyond their physical body and is the entity that continues to exist after physical death, experiencing a journey of learning and evolution through different lives and experiences. Dolores canon defined the soul as the essential and immortal part of an individual that exists beyond physical life. According to canon, the soul is an expression of pure energy and consciousness that incarnates into different physical bodies throughout various lives as part of the reincarnation process. The concept of the soul has been fundamental in various religious, philosophical, and spiritual traditions throughout history. In general terms, the soul is considered the essential and immaterial part of a human being that is related to their identity, consciousness, and deeper essence. From a religious perspective, many beliefs maintain that the soul is created by a divine force and is eternal, transcending the individual's physical life. It is believed that the soul carries with it the unique essence of the person, including their experiences, values, and distinctive characteristics. In some traditions, the fate of the soul after death is determined by its actions in life, which may involve reincarnation, divine judgment, or union with the divine, among other possibilities. For Canon, the soul carries the unique essence and accumulation of experiences, learning and knowledge from each incarnation. She believed that the soul has a specific purpose in each life, and the circumstances and challenges of each incarnation are designed to help the soul grow, evolve, and achieve greater spiritual understanding. In the philosophical realm, the concept of the soul has been explored from different approaches. For example, in Platonic philosophy, the soul is considered the immortal and divine part of the human being, while the body is transient and material. Plato describes the soul as the seat of reason and emotions, and postulates the idea of the immortality of the soul. In either philosophical traditions, such as Aristotle's thought, the soul is understood as the vital principle that animates living beings and grants them their specific capacities, such as perception and thought. In this sense, the soul is considered a form of organizing principle that shapes and unifies the individual. The soul would be the essence of individuals, that which forges their identity. It is a gift from God that makes each individual unique. In the case of animals, some believe they have a soul, while others consider it an exclusive property of humans. However, it is essential to consider that the word animal also comes from the Latin anima. Pope John Paul II stated that animals have a soul, and humans must show solidarity with them. Catholicism indicates that the soul is immortal, unlike the body. After death, humans reach God thanks to their soul, which has no pre-corporeal existence or material origin. For this religion, the soul constitutes the vital principle of human beings, which is one in body and soul. In Buddhism, on the other hand, nothing is permanent. Everything flows and is in constant change. Therefore, there is no eternal soul specific to each individual. The concept of anima comes from the Latin anima, derived from the Greek animos, which can be translated as breath. The most common use of the term is as a synonym for the soul. The anima or soul is generally considered the principle of life. Although the definition of anima varies according to culture and religion, it can be generally described as an abstract or spiritual entity that is an inherent part of a person. In antiquity, anima was considered what gave movement and life to beings, people, animals, plants, and stars. In this sense, all had anima. From Canon's perspective, the soul is eternal and transcends the limitations of time and space. She suggested that the soul exists in a state of expanded consciousness in the spiritual plane between physical incarnations, where it can review and reflect on past experiences and plan and prepare for future incarnations. Over time, various ways of understanding the notion of the soul have emerged. It is often expressed that the soul is the essence of a human being, what internally distinguishes each individual and allows us to differentiate our species from others beyond biology. It is commonly held that humans have emotions, feelings, and consciousness thanks to the soul. Someone without a soul, in this framework, would be a being lacking these virtues or qualities. Often, from a scientific perspective, the existence of the soul has been studied. It is believed that the soul is linked to mysteries related to consciousness, imagination, and memory, among other aspects. One theory locates the soul in the brain cells, specifically in microtubules that contain indestructible quantum information. This information, when a person dies, dissipates but does not disappear. Some religions express that the soul is immortal. In other words, when an individual dies, their body ceases to function, but their soul persists. The soul, therefore, would make eternal life possible. It would not be an earthly or corporeal existence, but a non-material persistence in another plane. Reincarnation is a spiritual belief that holds that after physical death, a person's soul is reborn into another body, whether human, animal, or even in non-physical forms. According to this belief, the cycle of reincarnation continues repeatedly over several lives, offering souls the opportunity to learn, evolve, and progress spiritually. According to Dolores canon, reincarnation is a fundamental concept in the soul's journey, where each life is a chapter in the expansive story of the soul. Reincarnation is perceived as a continuous cycle of learning and growth, where the soul reflects on past lessons and chooses specific challenges for its next incarnation. She defined reincarnation as a spiritual process in which the soul chooses to incarnate repeatedly in different physical bodies throughout several lives. According to canon, reincarnation is part of a continuous cycle of spiritual learning and growth, where the soul has the opportunity to experience different situations, relationships, and lessons in each incarnation. The idea of reincarnation is found in many religious and philosophical traditions worldwide, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and certain currents of neo-paganism, as well as in some interpretations of Western spirituality. In Hinduism, for example, it is believed that the cycle of reincarnation, known as samsara, is guided by karma, the cosmic law of cause and effect. According to this belief, actions performed in past lives influence the circumstances and experiences of future lives. The ultimate goal of the reincarnation cycle in Hinduism is to achieve liberation, moksha, from samsara and union with the divine. Canon suggested that decisions about the next life, including aspects such as family environment, social circumstances, and specific challenges, are made before each incarnation as part of a broader plan for the soul's evolution. According to canon, this plan is based on lessons the soul needs to learn and the development of its consciousness and understanding. In Buddhism, reincarnation is viewed as an aspect of samsara, but the ultimate goal is to attain nirvana, a state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. Buddhism teaches that karma, or actions and their consequences, determines the nature of reincarnation, and that spiritual practice can help purify karma and progress toward liberation. Generally, the belief in reincarnation offers an understanding of the soul and the purpose of life that differs from traditional Western ideas about life after death, providing a framework for exploring spiritual growth and continuous evolution. Reincarnation is the consistent belief that the individual essence of people, whether mind, soul, consciousness, or energy, takes on a material body multiple times upon death. However, many religions have their own approach and there are different terms for it. Some refer to it as metempsychosis, derived from the Greek terms meta, meaning after, and psyche, referring to the spirit or soul. Others call it transmigration, and some even refer to it as rebirth. For canon, reincarnation not only provides the opportunity to resolve past karma and learn spiritual lessons, but is also a process of self-discovery and expanding consciousness. She described reincarnation as a journey of the soul through time and space, where each life has a unique purpose and contributes to the growth and evolution of the individual. All religions originating from Hinduism affirm that reincarnation exists in an endless cycle. In the mythology of the Brahmanic religion, at the moment of the body's death, the soul or essential part leaves the body and is drawn by the Yamadutas, the messenger servants of the god Yama, the one responsible for judging the karma of all souls in the universe. Followers of Jainism say that souls reap the fruits of their good or bad actions through successive lives. When a Jainist accumulates enough good karma, the purity of their soul can lead to reincarnation as a deva or semi-divine entity. Within Buddhism, the primary belief asserts that reincarnation is a change in the course of the same life, the evolution of the self. There is no reincarnation after physical death, but within the course of one's life, it is possible to undergo multiple deaths and rebirths. The Kabbalistic belief states that reincarnation, along with the process of tikkun, correction, Directs and dictates are patterns of thought, feelings, and activities. According to Kabbalistic scriptures, the universal and repetitive behavior of its inhabitants is the story of the return of souls. Logically, there are other beliefs that completely oppose the idea that our soul transcends from life to life. For example, in Christianity, reincarnation is rejected as a doctrine contrary to the Bible, difficult to reconcile with the belief in resurrection. The astral plane is an idea found in various esoteric traditions and metaphysical philosophies. It refers to a level of existence or reality that is beyond the physical plane but still connected to it. On this plane, it is believed that forms of energy and consciousness may exist, which may not be perceptible to ordinary physical senses. Dolores Cannon defines the astral plane as a dimension of consciousness where souls can travel after physical death. It serves as an intermediate level between the earthly realm and the spiritual world, where experiences can be more fluid and the boundaries of time and space are different. According to some interpretations, the astral plane is a space where emotional experiences, thoughts, and psychic energies can manifest more clearly and tangibly than in the physical world. It is believed that in this realm, individuals can undergo astral travel, encounter spiritual entities, and engage in activities beyond the limitations of the physical body. The concept of the astral plane is closely tied to notions such as the astral body, considered a form of energy or double of the physical body, an astral projection, the ability to consciously separate consciousness from the physical body and travel on the astral plane. Dolores Cannon described the astral plane as a level of reality existing beyond the physical plane, but closely connected to it. According to Cannon, the astral plane is a state of consciousness where energies and emotional experiences manifest more distinctly than in the physical world. The astral plane is one of the most misunderstood elements of our existence. It is often perceived as complex and strange, leading to skepticism. Moreover, it is commonly portrayed as a potentially dangerous place inhabited by dark beings, further adding distrust and fear. However, in reality, the astral plane is a very natural element of the universe. Fundamentally, it is neither dangerous nor strange, playing a crucial role in our lives. Understanding the astral plane, in essence, is not a complex matter. From Cannon's perspective, the astral plane is a realm of energy and consciousness, where individuals can experience separation from the physical body and explore other levels of existence. She suggested that during astral projection or in deep sleep states, individuals can consciously travel on the astral plane and have out-of-body experiences. The astral plane is not something strange and distant. Rather, it is a very common element of our lives. We all have been there. We enter it every day because the astral is the realm of dreams. In other words, when we dream, we go to the astral plane. I use "go" in quotes because, in reality, we do not move. Going to the astral plane is not exclusive to spiritually inclined individuals who learn to project consciously. It is something we all naturally do. You have been to the astral plane many times. The only difference between astral projection and sleeping is that projection is a conscious process, while sleeping is unconscious. But the essence is the same. So if you had doubts about what the astral is, or what you experience when you go there, now you know. It is what you experience when you dream. Cannon believed that the astral plane was a place where souls could meet, interact, and learn from each other outside the physical body. She described the astral plane as a realm of beauty and creativity, but also cautioned about the importance of discernment and protection during astral experiences to avoid being influenced by negative energies or unwanted entities. Dolores Cannon defines karma as the universal law of cause and effect, stating that our actions and intentions create energy that returns to us in some form, shaping our experiences and influencing our future. She described karma as a fundamental spiritual law governing actions and consequences in a person's life. According to Cannon, Karma is based on the idea that every action, thought, or word generates energy that eventually returns to the individual in the form of positive or negative consequences. The word karma comes from Sanskrit, which is the classical language of India. According to dharmic religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, or Sikhism, it is an action, a spiritual force, or a transcendent energy derived from our deeds, our words, and our thoughts. It conditions or influences certain moments in our life, even in possible reincarnations. Its operation is straightforward. Good deeds lead to positive outcomes, while bad deeds lead to negative outcomes. For Canon, karma is not limited to actions in the present life, but can also be the result of past actions in this life or previous lives. She believed that a person's experiences and events in life are influenced by accumulated karma over time. Karma is the universal law of cause and effect. You get what you give, you harvest what you sow. A good action equals good karma, and a bad action equals bad karma. Notes psychic and author Mary T. Brown in her work, The Power of Karma, How to Understand the Past to Shape the Future. According to Brown, karma can be used to understand the past and shape the future, ensuring that mistakes or failures from the past do not repeat once the importance of karma is understood. From Canon's perspective, karma is a tool for learning and spiritual growth. She suggested that present karmic experiences are opportunities to resolve lessons not learned in the past and to balance negative energies with positive actions in the present. Karma is a spiritual concept originating from the religious traditions of India, especially Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It refers to the cosmic law of cause and effect, wherein an individual's actions have consequences, either in this life or in future existences. Karma is based on the idea that each action, thought, or word generates energy that eventually returns to the person in the form of positive or negative consequences. In other words, ethical and benevolent actions tend to yield positive results, while selfish and harmful actions tend to produce negative outcomes. Canon also believed that karma is not necessarily a punishment, but rather an opportunity for the soul to evolve and progress on its spiritual path. She emphasized the importance of forgiveness, compassion, and personal responsibility as means to free oneself from negative karma and move towards a more harmonious and meaningful life. According to the belief in karma, a person's actions not only affect their own life, but also influence their destiny in future lives. Therefore, it is considered a force that impacts the cycle of reincarnation, in which the soul undergoes multiple existences, seeking purification and spiritual evolution. The concept of karma encourages personal responsibility and reflection on the consequences of actions. Instead of viewing life events as mere coincidences or the result of chance, karma teaches that each experience is related to past and present actions. While karma is commonly associated with Eastern religions, its influence has extended to popular culture and Western spirituality, where it is often interpreted as a form of cosmic justice or moral balance. Karma is thus a fundamental principle influencing the understanding of morality, ethics, and destiny in many spiritual and philosophical traditions. From Canon's perspective, soul contracts are conscious agreements that souls make on the spiritual plane before incarnating into the physical plane. These contracts may include karmic lessons to resolve, significant relationships to develop, challenges to overcome, or specific missions to fulfill during life. She believed that soul contracts are related to the afterlife in the sense that souls make these choices based on their understanding and knowledge on the spiritual plane. According to her view, the pre-birth planning process allows souls to prepare and align their earthly experiences with their spiritual growth and evolution. In the vast universe of numerology, the concept of the soul contract is an intriguing and profound idea about relationships and connections between individuals. Beyond the numbers that surround us, it suggests that our interactions are not mere coincidences, but part of a cosmic design. perhaps everything has a deeper meaning than a simple chance encounter. The soul contract is an extension of this belief, proposing that souls are bound through specific numerical combinations that define the purposes and life lessons they will share. Dolores Cannon described soul contracts as pre-established agreements that souls make before incarnating in a physical life. From her perspective, before birth, souls choose certain experiences, relationships, and specific challenges they want to undergo in their next incarnation to learn, grow, and spiritually evolve. In numerology, each name and birth date reduces to a destiny number, reflecting aspects of a person's personality and destiny. Therefore, the soul contract refers to the idea that before incarnating in this life, souls agree to work together to learn and spiritually evolve. These agreements manifest through specific numbers that repeatedly appear in the numerical profiles of the individuals involved. Death is presented to us as the most certain aspect awaiting our lives, and at the same time, as something that either takes us away or makes us cling to life. Have you ever wondered what you are doing here and what your purpose is on Earth? We'll see you soon in another video where we will help you discover the answers, and we are confident they will fill your life with greater meaning, happiness, and confidence.